Welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about something that every single person on this planet experiences: stress. But what exactly happens inside your body and mind when you feel stressed? The answer is more fascinating, and more important, than most people realize. Imagine you are walking through a forest thousands of years ago. Suddenly, you hear a sound in the bushes. Your heart starts pounding. Your muscles tighten. Your breathing gets faster. You are ready to run or fight. This is stress, and it saved your ancestors' lives. But here is the strange thing. Today, most of us do not face wild animals. We face deadlines, traffic jams, difficult conversations, and overflowing email inboxes. And yet, our bodies react in almost exactly the same way. So why does this happen? And what does it actually do to us? Let us start from the very beginning. Think of your brain like a control center for a large building. It receives signals from everywhere, from your eyes, your ears, your skin, and it decides how to respond. Deep inside your brain, there is a small region called the amygdala. Think of the amygdala like a smoke detector. Its job is to sense danger. When the amygdala detects something threatening, a loud noise, an angry face, a difficult email from your boss, it sends an emergency signal. That signal travels to another part of your brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is like the building manager. It receives the alarm and immediately starts giving orders. Those orders travel through your nervous system at incredible speed. In less than 1 second, your body begins to change. This is the beginning of what scientists call the stress response. The first thing that happens is a rush of chemicals. Your adrenal glands, two small organs that sit on top of your kidneys, release a hormone called adrenaline. You have probably heard of adrenaline before. It is sometimes called the fight-or-flight hormone. Adrenaline is like pressing the accelerator in a car. Suddenly, everything speeds up. Your heart beats faster to push more blood to your muscles. Your lungs open wider to take in more oxygen. Your pupils get bigger so you can see more clearly. Your liver releases stored sugar into your blood to give you instant energy. All of this happens automatically. You do not choose it. Your body does it for you, in a fraction of a second, before you even have time to think. At the same time, your body starts shutting down systems that are not immediately useful. Digestion slows down. Your immune system becomes less active. Your reproductive system goes quiet. Think of it like a city during a power emergency. Non-essential services are turned off so that all the energy can go to what matters most right now. This is why people often feel sick to their stomach when they are nervous. Your digestive system has literally been told to pause. It is not a coincidence. It is biology. Now, if the stressful situation continues, your body moves into the second phase of the stress response. This is where another hormone becomes very important. It is called cortisol. Think of cortisol like a slow-burning fuel. While adrenaline gives you that immediate burst of energy, cortisol keeps the stress response going over a longer period. It helps maintain your blood sugar levels, keeps your blood pressure elevated, and continues to suppress systems like digestion and immunity. Cortisol is not a bad thing. In short bursts, it helps you stay alert and focused. Students often have higher cortisol levels during exams, and this can actually improve performance. Athletes have higher cortisol before competitions. A little stress, it turns out, can make you sharper. Scientists even have a name for this. They call it eustress, that is EU stress, which means positive or helpful stress. It is the feeling you get before a job interview, or when you are about to give a speech. Your heart is beating fast, but you feel energized and focused. So stress is not always the enemy. In the right amount, it is actually your body, helping you perform at your best. But here is where things get complicated. What happens when the stress never stops? In the ancient world, stress was usually short. You saw the danger, you ran or you fought, and then it was over. Your body would calm down. Cortisol levels would drop. Your heart rate would return to normal. Your digestion would restart. Everything would go back to balance. But in modern life, many people live with stress that never fully goes away. Work pressure, financial worries, relationship problems, social media, the news, these things create a low but constant level of stress. Your smoke detector is always going off, even when there is no real fire. This is called chronic stress. And this is where the real damage begins. When cortisol stays high for weeks or months, it starts to cause serious problems throughout your body. Let us go through them one by one. First, your heart. Chronic stress keeps your blood pressure elevated for long periods. Think of your blood vessels like garden hoses. If you always keep the water pressure too high, eventually the hose starts to weaken and crack. The same thing happens to your arteries. Over time, high blood pressure increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. Second, your immune system. Remember how stress tells your body to reduce immune activity? In the short term, this is fine. But if your immune system is suppressed for months, it becomes less effective at fighting viruses and bacteria. This is why people who are chronically stressed tend to get sick more often. They catch more colds. Wounds heal more slowly. The body's natural defenses are simply not working at full strength. Third, your brain. This is perhaps the most surprising part. Chronic high cortisol actually damages a part of the brain called the hippocampus. The hippocampus is like your brain's memory library. It helps you form new memories and retrieve old ones. When cortisol damages the hippocampus, memory and concentration begin to suffer. This is why people under chronic stress often say they feel foggy, forgetful, or unable to focus. Fourth, your mental health. Chronic stress is one of the biggest risk factors for anxiety and depression. When your brain is constantly in emergency mode, it becomes harder to feel calm, happy, or hopeful. The brain's chemistry actually changes. Levels of serotonin, a chemical connected to feelings of well-being, can drop. The brain becomes wired for worry rather than for peace. But here is what almost no one talks about. Stress does not just affect your body and your mind separately. It changes the connection between them in ways that can last for years, and in some cases, it can even affect the next generation. Scientists have discovered that extreme, long-term stress can cause what are called epigenetic changes. Now, that is a big word, so let us break it down. Think of your DNA like a recipe book. All the recipes, all your genetic instructions, are written inside it. Epigenetics is like sticky notes placed on certain pages of that recipe book. The sticky notes do not change the recipe itself, but they tell the body which recipes to use and which ones to ignore. Chronic stress can add sticky notes to your DNA that tell certain stress-related genes to stay switched on. And here is the truly remarkable part: some research suggests that these epigenetic changes can be passed down to children. This means that the stress experienced by a parent can actually influence the biology of their child, even before that child is born. This is still an area of active research, and scientists are working hard to understand exactly how it works. But the early evidence is extraordinary. It suggests that stress is not just a personal experience, it can leave biological marks that travel through generations. So what can we do about all of this? The good news is that the human body is remarkably good at recovering from stress, if we give it the right conditions. The single most powerful tool against chronic stress is something you already do every night: sleep. During deep sleep, cortisol levels drop to their lowest point. The brain clears out waste products. The hippocampus repairs itself. The immune system strengthens. Sleep is not a luxury. For your stress response, it is essential maintenance. Exercise is the second great tool. When you move your body, you actually use up the adrenaline and cortisol that stress has produced. Think of it like releasing the pressure from a steam valve. After exercise, your body chemistry rebalances much more quickly. Even a 30-minute walk can significantly reduce cortisol levels. Breathing is the third tool, and it is perhaps the most underestimated. Your breathing is one of the few automatic body functions that you can also control consciously. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you send a signal directly to your nervous system that it is safe to calm down. Slow breathing activates what scientists call the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, which is the opposite of fight or flight. Social connection is the fourth tool. Research consistently shows that people with strong social relationships handle stress better and recover from it faster. When you feel supported by others, your brain releases a hormone called oxytocin, which actually reduces the activity of the amygdala, your smoke detector. In other words, human connection literally quiets the alarm. And finally, there is mindfulness and awareness. Simply understanding what stress is and recognizing it when it happens gives you a small but important moment of choice. Instead of being swept away by the stress response, you can notice it. You can name it. And naming it, research shows, actually reduces its intensity. There is a phrase that neuroscientists use: name it to tame it. Now let us bring this all together and think about why this matters for your everyday life. Stress is not something that happens to weak people. It is a biological system built into every human being. It evolved to protect us, and in many situations, it still does. A healthy amount of stress motivates us, sharpens our focus, and helps us rise to challenges. But the modern world has created a mismatch. Our ancient alarm system was designed for short, intense dangers. It was not designed to run continuously for months or years. When it does, the costs to our health, physical and mental, are very real. The most important thing you can take from today's video is this: your stress response is not your enemy. It is a powerful system that you can learn to work with, rather than against. By sleeping well, moving your body, breathing consciously, staying connected to others, and simply paying attention to how you feel, you can keep that ancient alarm system in its proper role, protecting you when you truly need it, and resting when you do not. Here is something worth sitting with. The next time you feel your heart pounding and your muscles tightening, remember, that is thousands of years of human survival speaking to you. Your body is trying to help you. The question is simply whether you will listen wisely, or let the alarm ring forever.